Welcome to Latte with a Lawyer, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the stories of some of America's most successful lawyers, figuring out what makes them tick, how they creatively solve problems, and how others aspiring to be them can follow in their footsteps.
Okay, good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Latte with a Lawyer. And this morning, we're drinking our lattes because this morning we have Kila Baldwin, and she's with a new firm that she's just started, Baldwin Matzus Law Firm. And is it in Philadelphia based?
We have offices both in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. I'm in the Philadelphia office, but we also have an office in Pittsburgh.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Welcome. Glad to be here.
Good. So I'm still drinking coffee here, and this is part of our show. I got to ask you what your morning beverage is to get started.
Sure. I am a weirdo in that I have never drank coffee. I drink unsweetened iced tea. I drink it from the time I get up in the morning almost until the time I go to bed at night. So it's not that I'm anti-caffeine. I just prefer iced tea over coffee.
A different type of caffeine. It's interesting. I should be keeping a database of these conversations because it's quite a distribution of what people having. It's not all coffee. So anyway, interesting.
Yeah.
So about Pittsburgh. So I went to school in Pittsburgh, by the way, at Carnegie Mellon. I lived out there. My wife is from Pittsburgh, so I know Pittsburgh very well. Where's the office in Pittsburgh?
Right downtown on Grant Street. It's in the Grant Building, right next to City County, which is where the civil cases are tried. But it's ironic because I'm operating out of the Philadelphia office, but I've always had a very active practice in Western Pennsylvania and in Allegheny County. I was just there to try a case in May. Ironically, we couldn't proceed because the defendant doctor had a heart attack just before I opened.
Oh, boy.
But I'll be back there retrying that case in January, and I have a couple other trials lined up in the fall. So I'm out in Pittsburgh quite a bit, even though I do run the Philadelphia office.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. No, I have a real soft spot for Pittsburgh because when I went there as a kid, I knew nothing about it. I never left Boston, and then it's like, whoa. And I got the people were nice and friendly, and they weren't as tough as the East Coast, and it was a great place.
Yeah, everybody's very friendly, and they put French fries on sandwiches, so it's not all bad there.
From Andy Brothers, there you go. So tell us about your work. What kind of law you practice?
Sure, I do what I call a catastrophic personal injury law. So it is personal injury practice, but really the high end. I always describe it as the worst of the worst. You don't want to be my client because it means something pretty bad happened to you.
Yeah.
I've done quite well in a number of different areas. I've done complex medical malpractice cases, birth injury, neurosurgery cases. I've done product liability cases of all types. I've done some auto products liability against Ford and other manufacturers. I've done medical products. I had quite a lot of success trying the transvaginal mesh cases. I've tried a brain surgery medical device product. I've done just about it all, and I've done quite a bit of work in what I call utility cases or fallen power line cases involving electrocution injuries.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, actually, the first job I had was working at the Beaver Valley Power Plant, which was run by a bunch of utilities back in the day in Shippingport, Pennsylvania. Westinghouse, Duquesne Light, all the utilities you may have worked with.
Yeah, it's funny. I have an expert who worked for Duquesne Light for a number of years. Yes, but I know all those entities.
Yeah, no, I would think so. Anyway, yeah. So how did you get there? How did you get into this area of law?
It's kind of ironic. I went to Temple Law, not knowing that I really wanted to be a lawyer. Originally, I wanted to be a doctor, and that didn't work out for me. My father had a stroke, and I thought, my goodness, I couldn't take it if I ever lost a patient. So I went to law school. I don't want to say on a whim, but kind of on a whim, and not sure what I wanted to do. And Temple, where I went to law school in Philadelphia, has a really robust trial advocacy program. And I fell in love with the trial advocacy program, and that sort of got me in this direction, and that's where I am today.
But how did you get into this really high value catastrophic? I mean, did that just happen?
Out of law school, I wanted to go work for a plaintiff's law firm. I did, and just as the cases came in, I got assigned to the more catastrophic ones, and that's the direction my path went.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so you knew that you wanted to be a trial lawyer when you went to
When I was in law school, once I got into the trial advocacy program there at Temple, I really did know that I wanted to be a trial lawyer. That was the thing I truly loved.
Interesting. What about trial law is attractive to you?
I love getting a case and sort of the forensics of it, figuring out what went wrong and how it went wrong, where the liability is. And then two, just the advocacy piece. I like being on my feet. I like advocating, trying to persuade people of something. I really enjoy it.
Oh, cool. Interesting. And so you think you do more of that on the plaintiff side than the defense side?
I think you have an opportunity to do it more as a younger lawyer on the plaintiff side than on the defense side. I spent 1 year at Reed Smith, and just because the way large defense firms are structured and the hierarchy, you don't get as many chances as a young lawyer to have speaking opportunities, to go take a deposition, to get on your feet and argue a motion. It's more you're helping a partner by writing the deposition outline for some X number of years until you get the chance to have those opportunities. But on the plaintiff side, I think you get a chance really early on to go to discovery court or sit on a deposition and then take a deposition. I just think you get more opportunities on the plaintiff side.
Got it. Yeah, no, I've heard from a lot of the lawyers I've talked to that they work for the public defender or attorney general to get some experience in the beginning. I'm sorry, I cut you off, but there's a lot of folks I know who get their feet wet by starting in the DA's or the public defender's office. Yeah, that's interesting. So it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, to me, if I were going to be a lawyer, I'd want to do what you're doing too. That seems like the fun part.
I love it. It's a lot of work getting there, but being on trial, there's no better rush. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So what do you think makes you more successful when you're in the court? I'm assuming that you go to trial.
Yeah, I go to trial a lot. I think that I'm able to take complex situations, whatever they be, a brain surgery, a birth injury, a power line falling, and all this technical jargon, and explain it to a jury in a way that makes it easy to understand. And I think that really is the job of the lawyer, is helping the jury understand everything. And I think that's why I'm good on my feet, because I'm able to do that and explain things to a jury.
And so you think that, I mean, not everyone does it as well, obviously, right?
Say that again?
Not everybody does it as well as others, right? So, I mean, what is that skill? What is that skill set besides simplifying?
Besides simplifying, I think there's relatability. You have to be relatable to a jury. You can't speak down to them or be pompous. People generally have to like you. If they're going to believe you or choose your side, you have to be likable. I don't know that that's a learned skill or so much as just a personality trait, but I think people have to like you to be a good trial lawyer.
Yeah. So how do you get them to like? I'm just curious. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you influence them?
I'm a pretty friendly person who smiles a lot, and I try to be very personable with the witnesses. You can't talk to a jury directly and say, "How are you doing?" and "How was your day?" Would you like to get a cup of coffee? But they notice little things, like whether you're smiling or grumpy, whether you're yelling at the people you're sitting next to, or you're treating people kindly. How you relate to your witnesses and the defense witnesses, and whether you're mannerly or whether you're kind of being a jerk. People pick all those things up just in the way you carry yourself.
So you think that counts as much or more than the facts of the case?
I would say it counts almost as much as it's probably on equal footing. I don't know too many really good trial lawyers that people don't like. They're like, "Oh, he's mean and he's not a nice person." They're not going to be a real good trial lawyer.
Yeah, interesting. So how do you prepare for that? Like, before you get into, like, how do you make sure that you're communicating the way that the jury is going to be on your side?
The best thing you can do as a trial lawyer is prepare hard, but early. So by the time you get to court, you're not worried about the facts or whether you know the facts or whether your expert's going to say the right thing. You can focus on getting enough sleep at night so that you don't have bags under your eyes and you can smile and not be snapping at people in the courtroom. It really just comes down to a lot of preparation. So by the time the trial rolls around, you're in a good mood and you're ready to go.
Got it. Yeah, it was interesting. I was watching the Open there and listening to Scotty Scheffler as he was getting ready to play golf. I don't know if you're a golfer, and that's what it's funny. He said the same thing, like, because they were asking about, like, getting ready. He said, "I just work and prepare and practice, and so when it's game time, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just out there doing my best."
Yeah, it's funny. I live in Philadelphia, but we go to the shore in the summer in Margate, New Jersey, and sit on the beach with our friends.
Yep.
And I am friendly with Dennis Seidenberg, who was a former NHL hockey player. And one summer I had a trial and I was at work every weekend, and he kept being like, "Why do you work so much?" And I said, "I have a trial coming up." I said, "Before the playoffs, do you ever skip practice?" And he goes, "No." And I was like, "Same thing, Dennis." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I see what it is." But it's like a professional athlete would practice. That's what you have to do before a trial.
Yeah, you really do. You can't just wing it.
Yeah.
So, okay, interesting. So, what was like the most memorable case that you worked on that really stands out to you?
One of the honestly most memorable cases I have was the case of Ella Eba against Johnson and Johnson. She was very badly injured after she had transvaginal mesh implanted for her stress urinary incontinence. It actually eroded into her bladder, and now she is completely incontinent. She can't have sexual intercourse, everything else. The clients are dear friends of mine. I love them to death, but we got a huge verdict. We got a $57.1 million verdict with 50 million punitive damages. But I was really proud to try the case with two other females and two great attorneys, Tracy Palmer and Aaliyah Robertson. And that was one that really always stuck out in my mind. It was one of the first major cases won by an all-female trial team. So it really stuck out in my mind.
Was that a tough case to prevail?
Yes. Any of those cases against medical device manufacturers are tough. One, because it involves a complex medical device and urogynecologists and all this technical stuff. But two, Johnson & Johnson has deep pockets and they hire a lot of lawyers. So they'll bring in a team of maybe, I want to say 20 lawyers to defend the case against you. So in court, it's just the three of us and they have like 20 people on their side. And every morning you're arguing a new legal issue that they come up with or briefing another issue, and you still have to question the witnesses, and it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. So you're using expert witnesses, I would imagine, medical illustrations, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. We have expert urogynecologists in those cases, but yeah.
And typical through your cases, you're using those kind of services?
Yeah, we have experts, depending on the type of case.
Yeah.
All different types. I mean, just this last week, I was working on discovery in a phone power line case, and I met with my electrical engineer, who was a former employee of a power line company.
Yeah.
We have experts in all different fields that we use.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a bit. I mean, you probably know the business, but friends of mine actually run it. Expert Institute.
I know the Expert Institute well. Sure.
Now, do you use them?
Occasionally, yeah. I have a bunch of different services I use. I try to spread the wealth.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, I know this guy well. They're doing a good job. Hopefully making it easier for people.
It definitely helps when you have somebody do the legwork of finding the experts, so you don't have to make all the cold calls.
Yeah. It's an interesting model, the whole expert thing. I mean, it started like on Wall Street with the matching experts for like hedge fund investors. They try to find people that have knowledge. Like you could easily be on like Garrison Lehrman's platform, Coleman Research. They have these platforms where they try to find people that have domain expertise, and there's just a consulting call for an hour.
Wow.
So it's interesting how they've moved that into these different verticals now.
Yeah, that is interesting. I had no idea what the origin of it was. I just know it helps.
Yeah. But it makes sense though, and it's on demand, right? So it's
right.
It's really a neat idea. So you've had a successful career here. What would you suggest to a young person who wanted to go to law school and be a lawyer?
Really explore all your options in law school to see what kind of lawyer you want to be. I meet a lot of different lawyers who are at my age. I'm 42. They're sort of middle-aged and they're unhappy in their careers because they're practicing an area of law that they don't like. So I'd encourage people to, try different internships in the summer. Go work at the DA's office one semester. Go work at, doing business law and writing contracts. Check out the defense side. Check out the plaintiff's bar and really explore it. Because I can't tell you the number of times I try a case or a case resolves, and then the defense lawyer calls me and says, I hate doing defense work. Could I come work at your firm on the plaintiff's side? I think I might enjoy that more. Or I need a contract written for something, and I'll go over to my colleague who's doing that sort of work, and they don't like it. And I think it's just because they, got a job out of law school and took it, and that's where they ended up 10, 15 years later. But you should really be exploring that as a young lawyer, before you have a house and kids and need the money to pay for things. Go out and take a couple jobs you wouldn't normally do to find the one that you like the best, so that you're happy when you're my age, because I still am very professionally satisfied with what I do.
Well, you're young. I mean, don't you make it sound like you're ancient. You're young. You're still a young lawyer.
Yeah, but I've been doing it for 18 years, so I'm not exactly, one of these kids who's just years out or something.
Yeah, I understand. 18 years as a lawyer, I'm sure is probably a lifetime. It's a long time.
Yeah.
But it's not so easy. I mean, listen, most professions, right? Like finding where like your natural fit is. It sounds great in theory, but it's not so easy, right? Because you get practical considerations, right? You want to get a job.
Absolutely. Everybody needs money, and there are practical considerations. If you want to go work for the district attorney's office versus taking a job at a private law firm, that's a big, salary difference, and some people can't always afford that. So there are considerations that are for practicality. But like I said, there are internships and things like that you can do while you're in law school, and ways to explore those different areas while you're still in law school.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I've been trying to get my kids to do internships to figure that stuff out.
Yeah. I guess no matter what career you're going into, get some internships and look around a little bit. Don't just accept the first job that comes at you and stay there for the rest of your life.
Yes, that is true. And most people don't anymore. They jump around like crazy.
Right.
I'm always amazed at people that end up staying at a job for 20, 30 years, that they found the right spot. I guess.
Right. Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah, because nobody stays that long anywhere anymore.
No. So you were lucky. You found the right area of law that was good for you, and now you made a big leap to start your own law firm. Why did you make that transition?
I was working for Shane Inspector and Tom Klein at Klein Inspector, which is a world-renowned law firm. But candidly, they're getting older. One's in their 70s, one's in their 60s, and I just felt like it was time to go out on my own and kind of get out from under their shadow, and define my own future, not stay there and see how things winded down. I'd rather just define it myself and go out on my own.
Excellent. Well, it's different. I mean, now you're running a business, right? So now you have to think about like running the business, which is its own thing.
It's been quite a challenge. I think we've been open about 2 weeks now, and that would be the most challenging thing, is to spend a lot of time running the business, but you still have to practice law. So I'm getting lessons on signing leases for copy machines and things like that while practicing law quite a bit. I was out in Pittsburgh this past week, doing discovery in a power line case and inspecting an automobile and things like that. And at the same time, we had to go over a whole bunch of stuff in the Pittsburgh office about the phone lines, about the computers, things like that. And it's quite a juggling.
Are you going to have to expand like those kind of functions? Get someone to manage the operation and do all those kind of things?
We are. We're fortunate that I partnered with Jason Matzus, who formerly had his own firm. So he knows a lot of the structures, and we're borrowing a lot of his knowledge and the processes that he had in place. But because we're now going to have 2 offices, we are going to hire some administrative folks to handle office management, things like that, because I want to keep practicing law and don't want to be the person who's
you don't get involved with the operations. I get it. I mean, are you familiar with like these organizations like PILMA that help managing law? Yeah.
We have heard of them, and we're looking into them actively.
Yeah, I know they have conferences that we've attended as well, which is geared strictly towards helping you run your law practice. So
and we have one woman on board who's already handling a lot of the administrative stuff, but we're going to have to make a couple other hires.
Okay, good. And is your headquarters going to be in Philly, or are you going to?
On paper, our headquarters is the Pittsburgh office, because right now we have the physical space. My office in Philadelphia is still being constructed out, but they're equally sized offices, and we'll have the same number of lawyers approximately in both. So.
Okay. Are you going to be in Center City somewhere?
Center City, Market Street.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Well, maybe when I visit my son in Drexel, we'll get a chance to meet there.
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully the construction's done by then. I have to say, that's the exciting part, getting to look at the architectural plans and pick out colors and flooring.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That's fun.
Yeah.
Stuff.
That's the fun administrative side.
Yeah. I was going to say, so let me ask you about, since we're a technology company, what kind of technology are you guys going to use in the practice, and what are your thoughts on using it?
I can tell you that I am not real technologically advanced. I am pretty darn simple. So I defer to others on that. We have CaseSphere as a case management system. Obviously we use Microsoft-based products, Outlook, things like that, but we're learning rapidly, and people are telling me day to day what systems we're using and what a SharePoint is, and things like that. But I'm trying to keep up with it and learn.
But like when you're in the courtroom, I mean, are you using any technology there to help?
I typically hire an outside contractor to send me an IT person to sit with me, and they bring all the exhibits up and things like that, because I don't want to be messing around with that while I'm trying to question a witness. I can just call it a number and they can bring the exhibit up on the screen and highlight where I need and blow up what I need.
Got it. And did COVID change things? Were you using some of those things now? Yeah. I know everyone's going to Zoom and doing motions remotely.
Yeah, I mean, during COVID, everybody in the world switched to Zoom.
Yeah.
I always prefer to take a deposition live if I can, but it's kind of nice to have the option occasionally to travel less if it can be done. Some courts are holding conferences and things that would be kind of a waste of time to drive 2 hours to go to a 15-minute conference to drive home. Some courts are allowing us to do those via Zoom, which is great. Zoom has pretty robust capabilities of your ability to share documents, blow up sections of documents, highlight them, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not real good at using it, but when I need to do it, I bring an IT person to do it for me on a Zoom call. So that's been really great through COVID. Now, I tried, one of the few people who could say I tried 2 cases during the pandemic. I tried 2 cases last year and got 2 plaintiffs' verdicts, which was great.
Oh, nice.
One in the Middle District of Pennsylvania and one in Philadelphia. But, you know, I tried those cases both times wearing a mask, which was an interesting thing.
Wow.
And, you know, there's been so many debates about whether you can successfully try a case to a jury while wearing a mask or while they have masks on and you can't read their emotions. And I've come back to the proposition of where I started. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a mask or not. It matters whether you know your stuff and whether you have a nice, clean way of presenting it and explaining it to the jury.
Interesting. That's very
Hang on 1 second. I'm just going to shut my office door. Sorry, I am working from home today, and I have 2 dogs, and I hear them in the background. So
that's okay. I got one too. It's being very quiet. But anyway, I was going to wrap it up with you anyway. This has been interesting. I'll let you get back to work. Just to finish, what do you want people to know about you and your law firm, and what's the best way for them to reach you?
Sure. Well, my new law firm is Baldwin Matzus with offices in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. We're really excited to be handling, you know, catastrophic injury and death cases across the state of Pennsylvania. You know, we have offices on both sides of the state. We may open a 3rd office more centrally located towards Harrisburg, but I've tried cases of all types, and we're excited to do it together as a firm. My partners, Jason and Joe, are great guys, and we're really excited. We're going to make some new hires here in the summer and excited to get going. Anybody can reach me at my email, which is my name, Kila, Kila, @baldwinmatzus.com.
Excellent. Good. Really good. Really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, this has been Kila Baldwin with the new law firm, Baldwin Matzus Law in Pennsylvania. How about that?
That sounds good.
Good. And this is sponsored by EmotionTrac, Emotion, since you mentioned Emotion a bunch of times. And we are a legal tech platform that helps people prepare for trials, mediations, demand letters, using our platform that picks up nonverbal insights. And anyway, thanks again, Kila.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You bet.